Part 2 of building the exhaust for the Turbo 3800 Camaro. As you see, I got the welder out. I've already got started, so let me show you where I'm at right now. Last video we ended with the muffler slash resonator just loosely in here. It's tack welded in, and then from there I've started adding the next part. I'm trying to get into the tunnel where the drive shaft is, where the OEM exhaust used to go, the stock exhaust. I think I got it in there pretty good, just a few pie cuts, and we got our angles all good. We're all tacked up, and up front you can see the clearance that I have. It's pretty good. It's not touching anything, but it's tucked up there pretty good. Now from here, it's just a straight piece, cut to length, and then up and over the axle like the factory exhaust did that you see hanging here. So the straight piece is going to be pretty straightforward. What I want to stop at right now is building a mount, because we don't have any hangers up to this point. So this exhaust hanger is what bolts to the back of the catalytic converter. So let's see if we can reuse it. It's going to be cheap here, not buy a clamp, because I think we can reuse this. So I have this U-bolt from a exhaust clamp. If I just put it in there, thinking I'm cut off the threads, weld it to the pipe, weld it to this, and I think that'll work. So let's get started. Ignore my booger weld, but I'm not good welding on my back at all. So I was gonna weld to this bracket here, but I kind of like it like this. It kind of just hooks in. There's enough room for me to slide it out with the whole exhaust, and it hooks into place, and it just acts as an additional support. So I think I'm just gonna leave that. Now we're at the point where I can keep building, or I can pull this all out and weld everything up. I think we're gonna keep building though. So now we'll build out the straight part, which will be simple enough. However, I still have the old exhaust in the way, so let's get this removed. I'm probably just gonna have to take the Sawzall, cut it off there, because I'm not dropping the rear axle for this. Got it out, had to cut it, it wasn't too bad, but yeah. So this is kind of the angle that it did. It did a 45 up, and then a 45 back down. Might be a little bit less, or we might have to do a little bit extra once we get over here, especially to get to the tailpipe. So here's the two 45s that I saved in the beginning specifically for this, and this is 3-inch exhaust, so it's pretty big, and we have the factory panhard bar in its location, so we're kind of limited. However, if I bring this 45 up, tuck it in right about there, it tucks nicely. We're up against the body pretty good, not touching or anything, and there is enough room for it to clear the panhard bar at the back. We might need to smash in the heat shields towards the rear. Probably will need to do that. So we have a gap from here to there. Now it should be straight. So I'll get my measurement, cut a piece in. This side's gonna be butt weld, but this side slips right over. So we'll leave a few inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches long, slip it over, and have plenty of room. Added the straight section, tacked and taped it. In the end, we can fit the 45 up and over, and it tucks nicely. Now, if I touch the other 45, I can make it work, but it's so close, and it's not real. I'm not at a point where I can start fitting that. I am able to pull it all out in one piece, but it was a little tricky. I mean, I don't really have the car jacked up in the rear, so that might be part of it, but here you get an idea of what it's looking like. So I'm thinking, so right here was where the 45 went. I don't really have space to put another V-band right about here. Now, unless there's a clamp I can buy, since it slides over, I could just clamp it, but I mean, I'm sure that would leak, but it also wouldn't really matter because it's that far back. I don't know. Some research, otherwise I'm gonna have to do a V-band somewhere here, which means I'll only be able to pull the exhaust if all tires are off the ground, which also not that big of a deal. All right, let's get this fully welded up. I've been using the Harbor Freight welding wire. Decided to throw in some of the Lincoln Electric flux core inner shield wire. So we'll give this a go. It's tensioned properly, so it's actually coming out now, and I'm not having issues with that. So that's good. That fixed my problem. So let's burn this in. Got it all welded up, threw it back in the car, and still tucks in nicely. We're not hanging low or anything. I am noticing, since I chose to go with this mount is, there's wiggle room. So it's not really doing much other than just kind of lining it up, I guess. So yeah, we may need to rethink this. I may need to add a mount, I don't know, here or something to just support it better than what this is doing. Then moving down the line, I threw in the 45s, and we're touching, actually we're touching the pan hard bar, but once it's supported, we're touching the heat shield up there, so we're definitely going to have to bash that heat shield in quite a bit. And then I picked up one of these clamps that I'm going to secure right here. It's a 3-inch inner diameter, so it slides over this one where this pipe slides into here. Slide it on, clamp it, and then bam, I have a nice connection point I can unbolt in the future. We'll get this one welded up, but first I want to bash in this heat shield, give me all the room I need, figure out exactly where I need this before I start welding this in. Got a jack lifting up the rear end. We have plenty of room. So I taped it, marked it, I'm going to tack that in. We're good to tack that. With the help of a slip joint, some anti-spatter spray, and this new Lincoln Electric wire, I'm pretty happy with that. That's looking pretty good. Much easier to weld than a butt joint. So let's throw this back in the car. So midsection is final installed. We're all good here. This slips over, slips on. That's good. Now, for what to do from here, we have this nice straight channel for the tailpipe to come out. Same on that side. We're going to do dual tips, or really we're going to do the quad tips. But this pipe not going to work. The scrap piece I have left over because of the heat shielding here. Now I could bend, smash that heat shielding in, but it's already against the gas tank, so I can't really go much more than what it is. Maybe a little bit here. We can 90 down, which kind of gets us in the ballpark, but I can't slip it over because this ID joint is too big to fit. Ended up making the over axle, so it's just the 45, a couple pie cuts, and then this is a 90 with the inner diameter slipping over the pie cuts. It's tacked and taped right now, and it tucks nicely into this channel in the gas, under the gas tank where the muffler, factory muffler went. And from here we have a 90 out to the tips. So I just need to build a straight. It's about 13.5 inches. So we're gonna butt weld and then slip weld that one. So here it is installed up and over the axle, and then we're gonna Y out. Now this is at a 90. It's basically right in the middle of the 90, just about, and it's just a straight off. I didn't do any angle off of it. This is probably not the best for flow, but I mean, we are also all the way at the back, basically at the tailpipe, so it's not gonna matter all that much. Most of the air might go out of the driver's side, not as much as the passenger side, but there still is a good opening for it to just hit, bounce off the wall, and then come out. So now we are going to build something like this. We're going to follow this frame rail and come out right about here. It's all finished up here. This is what I came up with. There's the pipe that I welded on, and this is the inner diameter slip joint over it, welded a couple pie cuts to make a 45, straight shot into my tailpipe tips. And as you can see, we have a hanger welded up here. I've got a hanger on this side as well, in the factory locations using the original bolts that I had. This goes up and over the panel bar, we're not touching anything, so that's nice and secure. And up here I welded a hanger here, took out the bolt that was here, put a slightly bigger one, I think it's self-tapping or something like that, and just kind of made the hole work. Cut the hanger down and it's good. I still have that clip thing in there, just kind of locating it for install. But yeah, so exhaust really firmly mounted. That's great. Now I decided to put a clamp here. You don't have to if you have access to a lift. Now the way I did this, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit this, pull this exhaust out unless I had a lift to get it high enough, or I have to drop the panel bar. So this was just easier. Everything's tightened up. Sounds much better. I'm not hearing the exhaust leaks like I did last time. Actually, I think I hear a slight one. A little tinny one somewhere up here, but that's pretty good. First time that the serpentine belt's actually running with our new setup here. So, as you see, it's looking good. We're not puking oil out or anything, so I feel pressure in the line, turbo spinning. You can actually hear it a slightly bit. Sounds nice and deep. Let's give it a slight rev. That was maybe 2,000 RPM, a little higher than I probably should have gone, but hey, it worked out. And it's not that loud. It's definitely quieter than it was before I had the turbo on. And again, it was just catalytic converter, a small resonator on the 2 1/4 inch pipe, and that's it. So we just basically have a straight pipe exhaust, 3-inch resonator, some quad tips, and of course the turbo doing most of the muffling. That $100 3-inch DIY exhaust kit, this is all I have left. So I used pretty much everything. It took quite a while. I learned a lot, and that's all you can really ask for. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.